And, first is going to college and having fun, but making good grades and giving yourself an opportunity to have a good job after school. And I went to work on Wall Street, where it was a grueling but great experience for me. And then afterwards, going to business school, getting into private equity, making some mistakes, moving on, and ending up where I am here, doing commercial banking.
For me, my path was quite direct as well. I had a niche that I went to school for. I knew I wanted to graduate and join that same industry. However, I started the industry in a very different profession. I started in sales and marketing, and I hated it. Couldn't stand it for the rest of my life. Tried convincing myself, hey, I could do it, making sales calls, meeting with different agencies and meeting with different customers and consumers and trying to sell rooms and blocks and all that kind of stuff, and I couldn't comprehend it. And I was never left-sided, or left-brained. Even when I was going to high school, I was always more into the accounting, more into the math and calculus and pre-cal and all that great stuff. So I just couldn't wrap my head around it. So then, after I decided I didn't want to do sales and marketing anymore in the company, I switched and started doing accounting. Started as a staff accountant and kind of worked my way up and said, hey, this is something I really like. When the numbers balanced at the end of the month and when the reconciliations were done, I would jump up for joy. And I'd get laughed at that, why are you so excited that the numbers balance or your accounts balance or stuff like that? And it was just something that I really, really liked and really enjoyed. And from there, I found my passion and I found my calling. And when we were at a convention a couple of years ago for Intercontinental, I met Kirk Kinsell, which is through networking. And he is the one who kind of pushed and said, hey, join the Emerging Leaders Council, join the second generation hotel owners, and it'd be something beneficial for you. Once I joined the committee and I started networking with different people and networking and finding other similar people in the industry that I'm in, the second generation of hotel owners, I kind of found other people I could relate to. And from there I worked my way up and sit on the board right now. But it was kind of a trial and error, but in an industry that I knew I wanted to be in.
Thank you. How would you define success? And what have been the critical factors for you for your success so far?
I would define success as contentment. You can be content in whatever you do. You can be content in however much you do. My sister's a nurse, and she is one of the best nurses I ever know, and she's going to be working at Children's Hospital, and that's her calling, that's her success, and that's what makes her happy and content. What I do is what makes me happy and content and makes me successful in what I do. So you define success as being able to wake up every morning, and it's not like you're going to work. It's as if you're going to do something that you're so excited about. In the evening, you forget the time that it is, and you don't realize, oh, it's past 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, because you're loving what you're doing. That's how I define success. I define it by being happy and doing something that you thoroughly enjoy, because otherwise you won't do it for the rest of your life.
Thank you. And I would agree. I mean, I think that success is being happy with oneself and what you become. And I think success is being able to balance a lot of different things in your life, not just your career, but your family and other relationships.
Pretty much the same thing for me. Success right now is being really happy in my work and loving, going not just to an office, but, traveling for work and getting to go to things like the Super Bowl and the World Cup and really exciting events that people are watching and telling stories and just loving whatever it is that you're doing and taking full advantage when you are at those places, and just taking full advantage and making sure that you're happy and passionate about those things.
I just echo what everybody was saying. It's getting up in the morning and knowing you're going to work and being excited about it. That's pretty cool, because when you're going to work and you're not excited about it, you're in a dead-end career and you got to find something new. So getting up in the morning, being excited about going to work is what it's all about.
Okay. All right, Dan, here you probably should hold on to the microphone. We learn from our mistakes. With that in mind, will you share a mistake you made in your career or education that has improved your life?
Partnerships. When you enter into a partnership, a business partnership, you're getting married. If that partnership does not work out because of irreconcilable differences, you're getting divorced. And it's very hard to divorce a partner and still maintain that friendship. So I've made mistakes because I partnered with folks who it just wasn't a good fit. I did it out of a desire to make that friendship even larger, only to find that we had different views and different visions and different values, and that hurt.
So I believe that everything, happens for a reason. Mistakes happen for a reason. You learn from them, etc. I'm sure lots of people here, parents, teachers, tell you, watch what you put on Facebook, when you're applying to college, don't put any pictures that you wouldn't want an administrator to see. And, I'm not somebody who ever put anything crazy on Facebook, someone who did anything like parties or drinking, anything like that. But when I was applying, I think this was right after college, I had a picture of me and one of my best friends in front of the White House doing hook 'em horns. We both went to Texas. Harmless photo. I had just applied to be the Oklahoma beat writer for the Oklahoman. So, I wasn't thinking about this photo at all. It's my profile picture. It's a cool picture in front of the White House, my best friend. So the editor, the sports editor, had seen this photo, and he had told me that if you were going to be the Oklahoma beat writer, the first question that Bob Stoops is going to ask you is where you went to school. And he had told me he went somewhere like Pittsburgh or something, and whatever. Now, I'm a professional, when that doesn't, everybody went to school somewhere. It's not a big deal. Whenever I'm covering Texas, completely objective, that's just how it works in the business. If I had been covering Oklahoma, I would not, be like, oh, I hate Oklahoma, Texas is the best. I would never take that, attitude. But because I had that photo, I did not get the job. It worked out for the best. I went and covered SMU in Alabama, and I work for USA Today. I may have not had that path if I had gotten that job. But I would say that was definitely a mistake, because getting to cover Oklahoma would have been a great job. And it would have led to different opportunities, but didn't. So I'd say, same kind of thing that anybody tells you about Facebook. It's not just about the crazy party photos. It's also doing hook 'em horns, apparently.
Can I just add on to that? When I interview someone, the day before the interview, guess what I'm searching the night before? I'm going to their Facebook page and looking at their social media to see what kind of lifestyle they lead. I can learn more on social media about a candidate than I can in an interview. So just keep that in mind as you're posting this stuff up on social media.
One mistake I made was thinking that swimming in the quarry was a good idea. And that was not.
You were brave, Jeremy.
Yeah, I think I got poison ivy. But we might need more time to talk about mistakes. I think one of the ones that was most productive for my career was coming out of business school. I thought I knew a lot more than I did, and we invested in two really terrible businesses and lost money. But I've learned more from those two experiences since then in my professional career, and what not to do from them. So, take something like that and then learn to benefit from it.
My mistake is kind of similar to yours. Coming out of college and coming out of Cornell, I felt very at Cornell, it's a big alma mater that, if you were from the hotel school, you're a hotelie, and we have our own program and our own school and our own prom, and we're our own little clique, own little cult on campus. And coming out, I thought I knew everything in the world. I am a hotelie, I know this, we've been taught everything, we have been taught all the theories and everything, and I learned more working with my company and with my father than I've ever learned from school or from the books. I have made mistakes. I have learned from my mistakes. I have understood different things. I mean, doing some of the draws that I do or dealing with different financial issues that I have to deal with, I would have never thought I would do that in class. But the stuff that I have learned in real life do coincide with everything I learned in class. The class was the backbone to it, but I gained confidence, I gained strength, I gained belief in myself. So through the mistakes that I had made in real life, I became a better person.
If you knew now, if you knew what you know now when you were a junior or a senior in high school, what would you do differently then? So I guess a boring way of asking that question is, what advice do you have for our juniors and seniors?
I would say be open. Sometimes we think that the adults around us and then panelists like us and our teachers and our parents especially are just harking at us. Hey, go study. Hey, go make sure you don't go to your friend's house and you finish homework on time. Or hey, why don't you go to the extra teaching hours or do this or do that? And when we're young, we think that, oh, they're just telling us this, or oh, they're just repeating the same thing over and over again. And when you get older and you get more mature, you realize that, hey, they were right. And sometimes you miss the opportunity, and sometimes you're lucky enough that the opportunity is still available. So my advice is to actually listen. And I know how hard that is for juniors and seniors, that they think they know everything. But really, really do take in advice from your old elders and your people around you, especially your parents. They sometimes are the ones that will give you the best advice. And be a sponge. Take in all the knowledge you can around you. Ask questions, learn, always challenge things, always look for that different perspective that nobody else has ever tried to look for or challenge, because that'll open an insight that you'll never know.
Thank you. You know, I think it's really important to enjoy this time in your life, and it's a very transformational time. And what I see today and know is it's become increasingly competitive. I can't believe how many hands raised that it had mentorships during the summers, and that's very impressive. And so while you're going along and needing to do those things to get ahead, which are important, really still take time to be with friends and enjoy what you're doing, because you're going to have a lifetime of the other.
I would say, and this is more kind of, as you're getting ready to get into college, and it's going to maybe be overwhelming, and there's a lot of things you want to do because you want to get a job after college, and there's a lot to think about. Take advantage of every single opportunity. Now, obviously, it's great that you have these internships that you can do while you're in high school, and continue to do that when you get into college, because those are so important in networking, and, take risks. Sometimes, it might be like, oh, I'd rather, go do something fun and not, it has nothing to do with maybe pursuing, what I want to do with my career or something. And maybe there's an internship, but you'd maybe rather go on, a vacation or something. I would advise, obviously you want to have fun, you want to have the right balance, but one of the biggest things that I learned while in college is to just not say no to things. There's so many times where, the Dallas Morning News or the Associated Press would call the student paper and say, hey, we need a college student to cover, this basketball game. I could easily say, well, I've got a friend's birthday dinner that night, or I've got a sorority function I'd rather go to, but instead you say, no, I'm going to skip those things. I'm going to go do this because I know it's important. And another thing, and this applies to any career, is having thick skin, because there's a lot of people who, will be upset with something that you did and criticize you for something that you did. In journalism, a lot of people don't like what you write. And so I'm sure you guys are all on social media, see Twitter, Instagram. Things can get pretty ugly sometimes. And, you gotta rise above whatever people are saying, whether that's a boss or whether that's, just somebody else who's just kind of, picking on you for no reason. I think having thick skin is one of the most important things in any profession.
Look around you and slow it all down. You're in the best times of your lives right now. I mean, God, if I could be a junior or senior in high school again, I would do it tomorrow. So slow it down, take it all in, cherish your friends, your friendships that you have right now, because when you get out of school later on, you have to go to work. It's not nearly as much fun. So I take it all in and really enjoy it right now, because you're having a great time, I hope, and you should. I'd also suggest ignoring your parents' advice. I spent most of my high school years and my college years doing what I thought my dad wanted me to do, not realizing that my dad would love for me to break out of that mode and do something unusual. I mean, when I presented my business plan to my dad for this business, he went, I love it. I love it. This is the guy who spent his entire life trying to get me to become an investment banker. So take chances. Do something out of the box. It's much more interesting to be the incendiary circus performer on the plane than it is to be the accountant sitting next to you. Who do you want to talk to on the plane?
Okay, last question. One thing you were passionate about in high school and one thing you're passionate about now.
Girls?
Okay. Now or then? Yeah, got it, okay.
I guess sports, but in different ways. I loved playing them in high school, and now I love covering them and kind of almost dissecting, the athletes and the teams and the coaches and just really getting unique stories out of them. So I'm really passionate about storytelling in general, but with the sports being the topic.
Well, I'm going to answer, say something different if it's okay. But I really would say, just on something kind of topical, is mentors are very important in your life. And one of the strongest ones I had was Father Swan, who's here today. And he's really helped guide me through the years. So that's something to really try to latch onto and appreciate.
One thing I was really passionate about was people and learning from others and learning everyone's story. Everybody has a background, everybody has a story, everybody has a reason why they tick the way they do. And in high school, I was really curious about that. I would love to meet different people and discuss different things with them and just get to know them a little bit more. And if you hit it off as friends, it's great. If not, then you at least got to meet somebody new and learn from them. And the profession that I'm in now, it's a huge factor because it's a people profession, it's a service industry. And that's how you grow and succeed, and that's how you get customers. So it's something that I learned kind of in high school, and I really, really enjoyed, and it is realistic for not just your career, but in life in general. People are, and you are who you make yourself. So learn from others and improve yourself and improve other people too.
Great, thank you. Any question from our students, from other alumni? Nikai?
I just want to know how it was working on Wall Street.
It was a great experience. At the time, it wasn't fun. And there's some old books that you should read. But, at the time that I worked there, I did investment banking, consults with Barney, and we were working 120-hour weeks. So that's probably 3 hours of sleep a night, 7 days a week. But it essentially gives you about 4 years of experience in 2.
How do you feel your time in college prepared you for your job and what you were at least planning on doing coming out of college?
Just pass it.
I'll take it. It's amazing to me the skills that I use in my business today that I learned in college. I got an advertising degree from the University of Texas, and I wanted to be in advertising. I wanted to be Stan Richards. I wanted to be Roy Spence at GSD&M. That was my dream. And today, my main goal of my business is to create an iconic brand. I want Garrison Brothers to be an iconic brand. And so today, I'm still trying to do that. And so the skills that I learned then, I use them every single day.
One last question. We're good? Please join me in thanking our panelists.
Thank you all for coming. Thanks to our panelists for taking time out of their schedule to come back to campus. If you guys want to stick around, our panelists are here if you want to ask questions. I know a lot of times you don't want to ask in a group, so you can ask them directly. I want to thank, too, the development office, Karen and Cam and Megan for doing all their work, putting this all together and getting our panelists together. Thank you, guys. This is a great wealth of resource on this stage, so take advantage of it. Thanks.